Welcome to the Program Assessment and Review Video Series. Lesson 2, the Assessment Process, Curriculum Mapping. Program curriculum is a complex dynamic system with interdependent components that are intentionally positioned relative to each other to facilitate student achievement of intended learning outcomes. In conceptualizing curriculum as a system, faculty members concentrate less on what the individual courses are contributing and focus instead on the interactions among them and the effect overall on student learning and development. Curriculum mapping is the process of indexing or diagramming a curriculum to identify and address academic gaps, redundancies, and misalignments for the purposes of improving the overall coherence of a course of study and, by extension, its effectiveness. The key questions faculty should consider during this process include: how does the institution ensure that its degree programs demonstrate coherence in sequencing, increasing complexity, and linkages between and among program components? And how can we document and demonstrate the coherence of program curriculum to accreditors, students, parents, colleagues, and legislatures? The curriculum framework that Midway will be using is as follows. Step 1 is the intended curriculum, where the proxy are statements of intended program level outcomes. Step 2 is the designed curriculum. The proxy here is the course sequence for program completion. In Step 3, we will cover the communicated curriculum, where we go over the syllabus information, course outcomes, and activities. Step 4 analyzes the enacted curriculum, where we look at the way things are taught, pedagogies, content, scope, and depth of course material. And finally, Step 5 is the assessed curriculum, and this is where we take a close look at formal feedback for our students. A curriculum map is a visual representation of the structure of program curriculum. The map charts program courses, syllabi, classroom activities, and assessments as they relate to the intended program learning outcomes. Using the framework, each department or program deliberately deconstructs their curriculum in order to understand better how the sum of the parts relate to the whole and submit the mapping instrument as documentation of this process. Curriculum by nature is reductionist. Decisions about content, degree of repetition, and sequencing must be made in response to the real limitations on time available for formal education within a person's total lifetime. Decisions about curriculum will be guided by our mapping tool and consist of the following sections. You have your program outcomes, the intended curriculum, the designed curriculum, which is your list of program courses, and then you have subcolumns, the communicated curriculum. Those come from the syllabi. The enacted curriculum, which determines the level of instruction given for that particular objective. And the assessed curriculum, where are our students receiving formal feedback for the work that they are doing. The glue that holds together the components of the curriculum mapping process is faculty professional judgment and integrity. For each of its educational programs, the institution places primary responsibility for the content, quality, and effectiveness of the curriculum with its faculty, SAC Standard 10.4C. So using our mapping instruments, we will go through the following process. We will list the program outcomes. We will list the core courses. We'll analyze the course syllabi to determine alignment between the course and program learning outcomes. We will make professional judgments regarding the levels of instructions in those courses. and then analyze the course syllabi to indicate whether students have had opportunities to demonstrate what has been learned for each program outcome and receive feedback in a formal way. Lastly, we will quantify our process by calculating key quantitative indicators. This is the end of Lesson 2. In Lesson 3, we will begin the curriculum mapping process by taking a look at our program learning outcomes and our program supporting courses.